How's it going, Talk For Us TV? My name is Jack and welcome to my player ratings video for the Bournemouth game that's just taken place today. So, in terms of the formation, we went 4-2-3-1, Samba in goal, back for Christie, Figueiredo, Warabong, midfield of Garner, Cafu, Knockaert, Freeman, Kravinovic, and then a striker of Murray. So, for Bryce Samba, didn't really have all too much to do to us. I don't think Bournemouth even had a shot on target. So, yeah, in that case, I'll give him a 6.5. Well, he didn't, have too much to do with, but when he was played the ball back to his feet, he did well. When he was played, he was given things to do like that, he was alright. I think, 6.5, didn't really do too much, didn't pull off any incredible saves or anything like that to keep us in the game. So yeah, I think 6.5 is probably fair for him. Cyrus Christie, 6.5 again. I don't think he was too bad. There was one time when he slipped over as they were coming down the left hand side, well, our right hand side, their left hand side. But I don't really think he did too badly. I think he was okay. Had a solid game. Didn't really have too much to do. 6.5 for me. Figueiredo, I'm going to give a 7. I think he was quite solid in that position. Got forward for corners and caused a couple of problems. I think he was good on the ball. Quite solid for me. So yeah, I'd give him a 7.0. As for Joe Worrell, then, for me, he got man of the match, and I agree with that. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I think he was really good. Made an important block once or twice. Played a fantastic ball out wide to Knockaert. You think of that block where it nearly goes in. It sort of loops over the bar. You think it could be going in. Got that right, and yeah, brilliant from him. So 7.5 for me. Definitely deserved man of the match. The way that his communication, you can, without the fans, you can hear him. You can see him sort of leading by example at the back. Yeah, definitely for me. Deserves to beat man of the match with a 7.5. As for Gaetan Bong, 6.5 again, like Christie. Didn't really have too much to do, but didn't really do anything wrong. Had a good game, I think, was quite solid. So yeah, I'd say 6.5 for Bong. I don't really see any reason not to give him. To give him anything lower, anything higher. Again, don't really think he didn't really sort of set up a goal or get crosses in a lot, but I think he was good. He was steady. 6.5 for Gaetan Bong. Now for Garner, I think for Garner I'm going to give him a 7. I think he was quite good on the ball. Kept things ticking in the midfield. Kept that sort of line, I guess, with Cafu in front of the defence very well. I think they both played really well together. Again, they were both quite. I may as well lump them in together. I'm going to give them both a 7, I think. Both quite good. They sort of really stifled the attacks for Bournemouth by getting in front of the defence, cutting the passing lanes, and I think both of them deserve a 7. I think they were really good in there. I think they played quite well. Didn't really, going forward, Garner didn't really pull out any amazing passes like he did against Wickham, but we weren't really asking him to do that. We're asking him to be a bit more defensive minded, a bit more deep lying, making passes, short passes from deep, keeping things ticking and then stopping their attacks, which I think he did. As for Cafu, he gave away 1 or 2 fouls, got fouled himself once or twice. He had a decent game, worked well with Garner. I think if I'm giving Garner a 7, I've got to give Cafu a 7. So yeah, both 7s for me. Now, the 3 behind the striker. I'm going to start off with Anthony Knockaert. And for me, I'm going to give him I'll give him a 7. I think he was probably one of our better players going forward, getting in those positions to have a strike. Maybe he could have passed it once or twice, 1 or 2 times where he did go for a strike. But I don't think, to be honest with you, he had a bad game going forward. He was probably our biggest threat. Had a good shot, which was saved by Begovic. 7 for me. I think he played well. Could have done better. Could have obviously scored one of his chances, or could have laid it off a couple of times instead of having a go himself. But I think, overall, he deserves a 7 for me. Now, for Filip Kravinovic, I think I might give him a. I don't know if to go 6.5 or 7. It's difficult because He didn't really do too much wrong. But I'm just thinking, did he do enough to deserve a 7, or would a 6.5 suffice? He had one or two good passes, and actually no, I'm going to give him a 7. He whipped in some brilliant corners, and he put the ball in for the best chance of the game for us. So yeah, you have to say 7 for that. I think he looks really good. He looks a class act, and I'd really like to make this loan deal permanent if we can in the summer. I think he's a really good player, and a player that, when he's on the ball, he can make things happen. He's got a good ball on him, a good whip on him, like we saw from the corners. And, I think, really good. Definitely deserved a 7. Thinking about the way that he made different opportunities with corners. So, moving on to the man that BBC Sport have been playing centrally. I thought he played out on the left. It was Luke Freeman. Didn't really have an amazing game. Didn't have a bad game. 6.5 for me. He was alright. He was better in this game than we've seen him recently, I think. He wasn't afraid to get on the ball. A couple of flicks and tricks to try and start attacks. He was solid. I don't really see any reason to give him any higher. Didn't really do anything to deserve him, get anything lower. So for me, definitely would say a 6.5 for Freeman. Didn't stand out as a player who had a cracking game. Didn't stand out as a player who had a bad game. So for me, 6.5. Now, moving on to the striker, Glenn Murray. I think I'm going to give him a 7. He was involved in the best chance of the game for us, made the Bournemouth defenders think about stuff, and that is something that I remember banging on about when we played against them last time. We didn't even make the defenders think. This time, we had Murray making them think. He wasn't pressing the whole game, but he was pressing when he could. He was pressing when he had enough energy in the tank to do so. I think he was really making himself a bit of a nuisance and causing problems. He was unlucky that his header didn't go in. I think if they didn't have a player on the front post, it would have gone in. 7 for me, I think he's probably deserving of what he should get. He didn't obviously score, so you can't give him anything higher. Didn't miss any Glenn opportunities or do anything particularly wrong to get lower than that. So for me, I think a 7 for Glenn Murray. We didn't make any changes, stuck with the same 11, so I can't go through any of the bench. So that does wrap it up for me then. I think it was a difficult one today, seeing as though we didn't really like the last game. We had players who had fantastic games in Murray, in Garner, in Bong. In this one, we had players who showed flashes of quality, and then players who were just solid and did their job. So you can't really be too wild. You can't really pick anyone out. You were awful, anything like that. So I think what I did was fair. But if you want to let me know in the comments if you think I was being too harsh or too sort of lenient, then let me know. But that is it all for me. So if you did enjoy, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and come on, you Reds.